All eyes this morning on the Dan Markel murder trial. On Tuesday, court resumed with key witness testimonies from an officer saying he saw a van just like the one Wendy Adelson drove by the crime scene with, to hearing more about her first relationship post-divorce. We're also learning more about three people prosecutors say are responsible for the death of the FSU law professor.
But it was the last witness of the day that left a lasting impression. Luis Rivera, our Jada Williams, takes us inside the courtroom where he unveiled a closer look at the murder itself.
We heard from one of the most anticipated witnesses in the case Tuesday. Luis Rivera sat on the witness stand for more than 2 hours, telling his side of what led to Dan Markel's murder. It's a name thrown around quite a lot in this case.
Let's have Mr. Rivera in, please.
Prosecutors questioned his intentions right away.
What does cooperate mean to you?
Say nothing but the truth.
Has anybody told you what to say?
No, ma'am.
When Luis Rivera took the stand, he detailed the day he claims he and Sigfredo Garcia drove from Miami to Tallahassee for one mission: to kill Dan Markel.
As soon as I pulled in, Garcia jumped out of the car and went around. Went to the driver's side and shot him.
He shot Mr. Markel?
Yes, ma'am.
How many times?
Twice.
Did you actually see Mr. Garcia shoot Mr. Markel?
Of course.
Rivera said Dan Markel's ex-wife's family paid him, Sigfredo Garcia, and Catherine McBenoit a combined total of $100,000 for the murder.
So Garcia either called Katie or got a call from Katie, and that was the first call that either of y'all made after the murder?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and how do you know that that call was to Katie?
Because when he was speaking, he like, hey, it's done. She goes, I already know it's done.
Garcia's attorney even tried to pin the murder as a gang-related job.
He keep talking about the Latin Kings when it ain't got nothing to do with the
hold
murder.
on, but you're King Tato, right?
Yeah, but they don't got nothing to do with the murder. Yeah, but you going back and forth trying to confuse me. We're not going to do that. Just come on.
Rivera didn't finish his testimony Tuesday. He'll be back first thing this morning to finish. In studio, Jada Williams, WTXL, ABC 27.
As Jada just said, Rivera will be back in court this morning at about 8:30 a.m. and we're also expected to hear from one of the undercover agents involved in the investigation this morning.
And Rivera was not the only major name to testify on Tuesday. Wendy Adelson's ex-boyfriend, Jeffrey Lacasse, also took the stand. Now, he talked about his brief relationship with Dan Markel's ex-wife. They started a relationship in the fall of 2013 during Markel and Wendy's divorce. But what really stuck out from his testimony was a conversation he had with Wendy right after the divorce judge ordered that she couldn't take the kids to South Florida. Listen to it.
She said that Charlie had explored all options to take care of the problem and that he had looked into having Professor Markel killed. It would cost about $15,000. I later talked to Investigator Isom and said that could have been $50,000. They sound an awful lot alike.
Now, he also added that Wendy was a secretive person and would often get upset over things but wouldn't tell him about them. He was dismissed, but he did ask to remain under the rule of sequestration, which means he should not discuss the facts of the case or his testimony with other witnesses.
And we followed every new development in this case since the very beginning. The FSU law professor was 41 when he was found shot in his car back in 2014. Markel died 2 days later. Last year, an autopsy confirmed his cause of death was gunshot wounds to the face and head. This week is the trial of two people accused of participation in the case, Sigfredo Garcia and Catherine McBenoit. They're both charged with first-degree murder, solicitation to commit murder, and conspiracy to commit murder in his death. The third suspect, Rivera, pled guilty to second-degree murder and was sentenced to 7 years in prison. Sigfredo is a key player in this case, and that's why his testimony is so important to this trial. ABC 27's Jada Williams will be at the courthouse as soon as it opens, and our team will have all that latest on what happens today on Twitter and Facebook. We also have a whole section dedicated to this case on our website. That's WTXL.tv.